So, hello again. It's the day number 8 of the Miracle Morning. Basically going as planned. No news there. Evening once again. Soon time to go to bed so that I can wake up tomorrow morning once again back to the normal routines. Now, I realized, maybe I even said it yesterday evening, that I haven't been talking about the lifesavers that have been described in the Miracle Morning book. And so, lifesavers. The word savers comes from S, silence. A stands for affirmations. V for visualization. E for exercise. R for reading. And the S for scribing. Now, so let's take the first S, silence. Every morning you should spend some time in silence. Now, it has been proven medically, blah blah blah, many times that a few moments of silence is very beneficial for your health, for your brain. You get new ideas and so on. And the funny thing with the silence is that it might be harder than you think. For me at least, when I tried it the first morning, I tried. I did put an effort to that one, but perhaps not in full extent how I realize it now. I think I got something like 28 seconds of silence. After that it was really awkward. After that it felt like I can't do this anymore, this can't work, blah blah blah. So that was a bit challenging for me. However, the more I do this Miracle Morning stuff, it comes more like a second nature. You can do it as a meditation, you can do it as a deep breathing exercise, whatever, but it still feels like, now it feels okay, but it was difficult at the beginning. So that's the S for silence. I'll continue with the affirmations tomorrow. Other than that, I didn't have a blank idea what I would be discussing today. We just filmed a vlog with my wife in Finnish language for the video log that we do together. That one is in Finnish, but anyhow, in that video log we discussed about one of the old-time great self-help, motivational and success books, which is by Napoleon Hill, called Think and Grow Rich. Now, that book has a significant meaning in our relationship, since my wife was actually the first person that I met, except for me, who had read this book. Now, there might be some friends who had read it but never talked about it, never said anything about it. However, my experience after reading the Think and Grow Rich first time, I believe it was 2003, was that no one wanted to hear anything about that. I had some colleagues or friends complaining about their careers and so on in the mid-2000s, and I offered them the idea to read this Think and Grow Rich book by Napoleon Hill. Well, no one took the bait, so to say. So when we had been going out for 1 month, me and my wife, I finally saw this book on her night desk, and I asked just that, "Whoa, do you read Napoleon Hill?" Well, of course I read Napoleon Hill. It's one of the all-time greatest. And well, then we started talking, and let me say that something clicked that moment. One of the defining moments in our relationship, so to say. I think you all know what I mean. And also, one other thing was that I finally realized why she had, in many ways, the same way of thinking as I did. Well, I asked, well, if you read Napoleon Hill, then you must have read this book. And yes, she had. Have you read this book? Yes, she had. We had been reading basically the same kind of books. Anthony Robbins, Robert Kiyosaki, and now the name is escaping me, but the book's called Millionaire Next Door. I don't recall the author now. You can find it in the show notes, however. There will be a link to that book. Millionaire Next Door, at least. Well, anyhow, so that book is extremely good book if you're into things like self-help, success books, so on. I have already done the review of the, or not a review, but I did the Go Give It Challenge. One of the good books also. Now Napoleon Hill is more legendary because it's an older book, actually written, I believe it was 1937, which is actually why when I first took it into my hand, I put it back to the shelf, because I was so stupid to think that something that has been written that long ago can't have any beneficial information for me at the year 2003. I put it back to the shelf, then 1 week later I went and I got the book and read it, of course. I have read the book 4 or 5 times during the last, what is it now, 13 years, and still every time I read that book or listen to it as an audiobook, it has always new information for me. I get these tiny little pieces of information that always makes the experience of that book only greater. It involves every time you read it, and there are really good small informations there that you can do on a daily basis, weekly basis, that will actually help your career, your life, and so on. Now, it is old book, so you have to understand that when you're reading it. It's not, let's say, gender neutral. All the discussions are more towards men, because at that time it was much more normal, or basically the way of life was that the men would work and the female would stay at home, take care of the home, and that is reflected in the language on the book. But please don't discard it because of that. You can still implement it into your life even if you would be a woman. Now my wife does it. She has read the book also several times. She loves the book. And so please don't discard it because of that. And definitely, most definitely, don't discard this book because it's old. The values and the ideas that are written into this book by Napoleon Hill are timeless. And what you should understand is that the original idea and the ideas behind, they're not only Napoleon Hill's ideas. Napoleon Hill is a journalist who went and visited Andrew Carnegie, and Carnegie gave the information to Napoleon Hill, and after that it made Napoleon Hill a avid, let's say, student of success, how these principles work, and so on. Of course, for more detailed information, please go and visit Napoleon Hill's website. I think it's the Napoleon Hill Foundation, blah blah blah, don't recall it right now on top of my head. But visit the website. I will put the links once again in the show notes and so on. But I do definitely recommend you to read that book. Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. That's one of the must-read books in all categories of books. That's one of the absolute top 10 books that you must read. Really good read, not that thick book, easy to read, easy to grasp, and it works. All the ideas, all the principles in that book, I can definitely say that they work. They definitely work. So I think that's it for today. I will be back tomorrow with something new to tell to you. Let's see if there will be any exciting news regarding the Miracle Morning Challenge. Day 8 is behind, day 9 is onwards. According to the Miracle Morning book, the 10 first days are the most difficult. So 2 more mornings after that, it's going to be easier. Let's hope that at least. Thank you. Bye.